Hello, everyone. I am here today with multimedia artist and nerdcore musician Jake Sloan, better known as Jakeneutron. Jake, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, I am multimedia artist Jake Sloan, better known as Jakeneutron.
I feel like we've covered that, Jake. Editor, show some things that people might know Jakeneutron from. I'm the editor. So, first question, because I saw this on your Instagram recently. I saw it on a lot of people I follow's social media. You were invited to the big FNAF 2 movie opening party. How was that experience for you? How did you get invited? What did it feel like getting invited, and did you have a good time?
Okay, so that was really funny because I was already over in California for Twitchcon and Lightbox Expo. And originally, the day I was going to be leaving was the day that that event was going down. I think specifically my friend Coda had reached out to me and like, hey, this event wants you here, and I don't know if you're going to still be here. And I was like, wait, yeah, hold on. I could extend my stay. Hold on. We were kind of like rushing the day of to get snazzy clothes and such, even though we didn't know what the dress code was. I don't think they told us there was a dress code or anything. So we kind of arrived a little bit overdressed. But we were just really worried we were going to miss stuff, but we didn't. It was almost so fortunate that we had to like wait like about a week before we could actually say that we went to it at all. There was a mixture of people that I didn't know at all and people who I personally knew or people who I knew of but had never met. Like looking across the room and seeing Matt Pat was there, I was like, oh my god, that's Matt Pat, and then he disappeared before like I actually got an opportunity to say hi.
I'm glad you had a good time, and I'm glad you got invited. That's really cool that they were like inviting musicians to it and not just like cast members. The Living Tombstone did a performance there, and that leads me into my next question, which is you opened for the Living Tombstone 2 shows, right, on their recent tour?
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you?
Very, very fun, actually. It was our first time doing something like that, so there were aspects of it that were kind of like trying to play catch up on. The venues, it was kind of like either a day of or a few days before finding out exactly what they had, and the show that I did was very dependent on like having a projector screen and whatnot. But even with that, had a lot of fun. Sam, Yoav, and the rest of that crew, including like the stage folks at the certain venues, they're all just really chill and really fun.
Yeah, I went to that tour. They came to Wisconsin recently, so I got to see them. Mystery Skulls was the opener for that one.
Yeah.
It was a really good time. Do you have any like fun stories from any performances, shows, conventions, anything of that sort? Just any fun memories?
The first show we performed, the one that was in Orlando, was indoors. So like we were technically under air conditioning. The second one was outdoors, no air conditioning. And while it wasn't like too hot to perform, it was definitely hot enough that while I was up there trying to sing, I was sweating like crazy, like to the point where I could taste the salt of my sweat. And like during me singing Are We a Thing, which is very much a song about like trying to figure out what kind of relationship you were developing with somebody, my sweat started getting in my eyes and I stopped being able to see. And I'm wondering if to the audience it looked like I started crying because I just straight up couldn't see. I was squinting.
My eyes are just sweating, but they actually were.
They actually were.
Do you, of all your songs and projects you've worked on, do you have a favorite or a least favorite?
I think right now my favorite is still Play My Way. I still really like, I think that's probably one of the catchiest songs that I've written. It's the one song that when I'm like, if I'm sitting in complete like silence, there's nothing going on and such, it's the song that comes up in my head that I hum.
Mm-hmm. So you have done some collaborations, a lot of collaborations. A lot of your songs work with other musicians, artists, etc. Some have worked with voice actors recently, specifically Jack's Toy. What is it like just working with so many collaborators in general? And when it comes to Jack's Toy, how was that experience working with the actual voice actors from The Amazing Digital Circus on a song about The Amazing Digital Circus?
I feel like that's just kind of been ingrained in how I make stuff. I love collaborating. I think most things end up turning out way better when you're working with other people. because then they can share their vision, and you can help each other refine the ultimate end goal. All my proudest projects, they only came out so good because I was working with other people, working with like people like Michael Kovac and Amanda Hufford. It's cool because they're ranged from like high acquaintance to like just straight up friend. I know that when I was writing Jack's Toy, I had already had Michael's contact because when I was working on this one mod called Versus Oswald, and we wanted to have the Animaniacs in it, one of my friends had suggested, oh my god, you should have my friend Michael voice that character. He does an extremely good Yakko. So when I was working on Jack's Toy, that like wasn't even supposed to have a music video or anything, it was just something I was doing for fun. I reached out, I was like, hey, do you want to sing on this track? Right. I don't think my voice is going to fit it. And I know that you guys are like getting to like sing in some fan songs. You like to be in this one. And it was like, well, if you get permission from Glitch, I'm cool with it. Mm-hmm. And it was a very fun, it was very fun to get Michael to actually get to sing on a song instead of just giving voice samples for a Friday Night Funkin' song. Like when I was working on Jack's Toy, I had talked to Amanda before. I don't even think that Amanda knew who I was at all. I had reached out, be like, hey, would you be down to do voice lines as Ragatha in this song? Michael's already on it. And they were like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And it just ended up being really funny because like sometime after Jack's Toy drops and then Team Neutron's looking for like a producer, Amanda applies. And when I had like an extended interview conversation with Amanda, I had learned not only is Amanda like a voice actor, Amanda is like a producer. Does a ton of things and has so far been a really perfect fit for Team Neutron. There's a lot of things that like Amanda has been instrumental to making sure that those things got done. And I don't think I would have known about Amanda if I hadn't done Jack's Toy, like to that capacity. I would have known Amanda existed, but I wouldn't. Amanda would not be a producer on Team Neutron if I hadn't done Jack's Toy.
Yeah, now I have Jack's Toy playing in my head. Very catchy. You're really good at writing very catchy melodies. I love it. Do you have any strategies for making melodies particularly catchy? Or just like, I guess, what's your songwriting process like?
I don't know. I feel like when I'm writing songs, I'm doing a lot of trial and error and kind of just going with what to me feels fun. Typically am not satisfied. We'll probably like be sitting there at the computer frustrated with a song until I manage to like come up with a melody that I'm like, yeah, I would play this over and over again. Mm-hmm. Whenever I make a song, it should be really obvious what I must have been fixated on, because I take a lot of inspiration from the sounds that I really like. I know when I was working on like Jack's Toy in particular, I was trying out some new sounds. I wanted to see if I could find this in between of electro swing and very video gamey old PC stuff. I think I started with the chords for that song first. And after I had wrote those, I was like, this kind of sounds like Other Friends. I should lean into that. I don't know. See, hand on shoulder. I don't know music theory. So trying to explain this is difficult because I'm trying so hard not to just say, I feel it out.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I'm kind of the same way. I feel like I should learn music theory at some point if I want to keep making music, but I feel like I get the gist, right?
From what I've heard, it's like, it's not necessary, but it helps a lot with both getting to the idea that you want faster and also communicating it with other folks.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever killed a man?
Not in real life.
Cool. And what was your process working with Indigo Park with Rec D, Unique Geese? What was your role in Indigo Park, I guess?
I was one of the first people that Geese had reached out when he was confident that he wanted to do a theme park-centric horror idea. And reached out and I was like, hell yes. That had spilled into further conversations on what that would be like. And I think at the time, I was really fixated on the new stuff that was going on with like AI and AI chatbots and how they were like getting convincing, like talking. And I'm like, it would be interesting to have a horror thing where you have a kind of a companion character that is an AI, and they're written with that in consideration to their character. Like they're not just like a person that happens to be an AI. A lot of things that fuel the way that character is written is specifically based on the things that AI is good at and the things that AI is bad at. Then we kind of kept bouncing off from there. Eventually Rec D got in, and Rec D is already a person that I work with closely a lot. So when Rec D got involved, it was the dream team. Outside of also being like the original lead animator for Rambly himself in the 2D style, I am like one of the lead story folks on Indigo Park whenever a chapter's story is being discussed. My main thing is that I tend to be trying to make sure that like the themes of the story stay aligned and that like Rambly is represented properly. And those are things that like both Geese and Rec D do. But I feel like if you were to ask them, you could, they would be like, yeah, no. During those conversations, it's usually me, Jake, who's really pushing for it. But would Rambly do that?
Yeah. That's very cool. I'm saying that's very cool a lot because this is all like stuff that I'm very personally interested in. So like I love Indigo Park. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips on how to get involved and make success in the creative fields as a creative, whether it's music or art, animation?
I guess the best advice I could give was just make what you want to exist. I mean, that's what I do. Everything I make it because I wanted it to exist.
Right.
The only reason I'm like currently right now working on a Simpsons Fortnite song is because I've become so fixated on the Simpsons Fortnite event and Simpsons themselves. And I'm like, there's a song here. I could do it. No one else is going to make it like this. So I guess I gotta lock in.
I feel like there's a balance with nerdcore music, especially between if you should like write a song about what's trending or what you're most interested in personally. That really depends on how much you want it to be a career and how much you want to trend versus how much you want it to be a hobby. So for people actually becoming like successful and able to, make it to your level and position with that.
I feel like it's a mixture of luck and passion. I just happen to be very lucky that the things that I'm very interested in unabashedly tend to also be things that are pretty popular.
Do you have any future projects you are working on that you want to talk about, promote, anything coming up soon that we can look forward to?
There is a third Amanda song that we are doing that I started a while back. I'm hoping to get some time in the next 2 weeks to keep detailing that. I don't know when the song will drop, and I don't know when the music video for it will drop, but it will most likely be our most ambitious Amanda project. I'm kind of glad to be able to do it after the third game came out so I can actually incorporate story elements from that.
Yeah.
There's also one more Amanda thing that I want to do that I'm going to be a little bit more secretive about until I can get all the okays for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure we still have some stuff for Are We a Thing that we were doing. And tons of other songs that are just sitting on the back burner that I'm waiting to have the time and money to be able to execute. There's even like a wholly original thing, been hinting at a lot if you pay attention to my socials, especially Twitter. There's quite a few things. 2026 is going to be a very extra Jakeneutron year.
That's very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And in the meantime, to find out about all these new things, where can people follow you to keep up with your everything?
Yeah, I'm kind of everywhere. I think my main platforms would be obviously YouTube, then TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also follow Team Neutron on our Twitter and Instagram accounts.
Awesome. That sounds good.
Especially,
well, thank you. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. You're fine. You're fine. I was just gonna addendum that, like, especially if anyone is interested in being on Team Neutron or doing any work for Team Neutron, when we put out applications for artists or other kinds of roles, we usually put them on that Twitter and Instagram account.
Thank you so much for your time today. This has been really exciting for me, especially.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you on.